Hey, happy Thursday. Welcome to Homestead Healthy. Again, I'm Bob.
And Beth.
And we're here today to finally do that episode that I've been waiting to do, kombucha. As you know, if you've looked through a few weeks back, I did a episode on making your own SCOBY. That's the first step if you don't have one, or if you don't have a friend who has one, or if you don't have a store-bought one, anything. Next step is called the first fermentation. This is what we're going to go through today. We're going to do the first fermentation, and then in about a week we'll come back. We'll do the second fermentation, where we actually add the flavoring and we let it start to carbonate a little bit more. So first fermentation. What is kombucha? It's fermented tea, basically fermented sweet tea. Plain old black tea. I buy them by the tea bag. They're cheap enough. We're going to make a gallon altogether of this, of the kombucha. But we're going to start out with 4 cups of sweet tea. So I take filtered water, put it in a pot. I add 6 bags of tea. You can use a couple of ounces of fresh tea if you want anything, but black tea is the preferred. That's the best to use on this. You want something strong, something that's going to stand up well. You take the black tea bags, put them in on the stove, add the 4 cups of water. And at that point, you can either add sugar to make the sweet tea, or you can wait till it's done. It doesn't make a difference. You can wait till everything's cooled down. It doesn't make a difference. The main thing is you want to make sure the sugar gets dissolved. So here's 4 cups of black tea that I've already made. And it's already cooled down just so we can speed up the process. When you're making your first fermentation, you got to let it cool down. You can put it in the refrigerator. You can leave it on the counter. Sometimes I make it before I go to bed, let it cool down overnight. It doesn't matter. Main thing is you want it somewhere between 65, 70 degrees and no more than maybe 90, 95 degrees. Why? Over 90 degrees or so, you're going to start affecting the SCOBY. It's going to be too hot. The yeast isn't going to like it. And they're going to die on you. You're not going to make any tea. Any colder than that, any colder than 65 degrees, you run the risk of mold, anything along that line getting in there. I've made SCOBY for years, or I've made kombucha for years. Never had a bit of mold. So again, things to follow: temperature, cleanliness. You've got to make sure everything's nice and clean and sterile, because you're making yeast. You've got yeast. You're making your own bacteria, your own culture in here. So you want to make sure that not the bad stuff gets in. So clean hands, and you're ready to start. So you got your 4 cups of tea, sugar, cane sugar, regular sugar, granulated sugar, processed sugar, whatever you like. This is a raw cane sugar I have that I'm just experimenting with. And I'm going to stir it down till it all gets dissolved. Okay, so sugar is all dissolved. That out of the way. We're going to add that to a 1-gallon jug. Again, the goal is to make about a gallon of kombucha. I'm always good at spilling. That's okay. You're going to add 4 cups, or actually 8 cups, of filtered water. Now it's good if this water is colder, not too cold, but cold, to help cool down your kombucha or your tea. Now I can make a mess, can't I? That's 4 cups. And 4 cups. So we're sitting there with 12 cups right now of sweet tea. And that's all it is. It's sweet tea. It's regular tea, black tea cooked, 3/4 cup of sugar, and extra water. Now to the star, the SCOBY. This is my SCOBY hotel. I had some friends of my daughter wanted some SCOBYs to start making some kombucha. And over the summer, I just had let it die out. I didn't have any left, so decided to make a new batch. And I've got 2 in there now. Again, clean hands. You don't want to get anything on these SCOBYs that isn't unnatural. Check your temperature. And we're sitting right about 78 degrees, so we're sitting fine there. And get your SCOBYs. Listen, I got 2. They're a little big. Normally you wouldn't use one this size, but that's what I've got in here. When I put the SCOBY in, and that's what you're gonna do, you're gonna take it, add it into here, and it'll float, it'll sink, it'll do all types of stuff. Don't worry, that's fine. But over the course of the next week, it'll actually start a new SCOBY on top. So I'll have 2 when I'm finished the process. So that goes back into the hotel. I've got 1 in there now, 1 in here now, I'll have 3. Then the next process, you always get 1 extra SCOBY every time you make a bunch of kombucha. Key important part here now. 4 cups of black tea with sugar, sweet tea. 8 cups of filtered colder water. Our temperature's down into the 70s. We've added the SCOBY. But now I said we're gonna make a gallon. I've got 4 of the tea, 8 of the water. That's only 12. We're missing a good close to 4 cups or thereabouts with the SCOBY, a little less. You need a starter. You need something that's already got the bacteria in it to really kickstart that kombucha into processing, into getting that tea to start to turn. So this is where your SCOBY hotel comes in. If you have your SCOBY hotel, you've accumulated some liquid already. You've accumulated some tea, some sugars. You've accumulated basically the culture that's already thriving in there. If you don't have that, ask around, I'm sure a friend has one, or go to the store, get a bottle of raw kombucha and just add that. But you're looking for a couple of cups to add to here to get it kick-started. And you'll always do that. Every time you make a batch of kombucha, you're going to take the first couple of cups and you're going to put them back in here along with the new SCOBYs and the old SCOBYs. And that way it's going to stay fresh. You're going to keep it going. Every 6 months or so I might add a little sugar just to perk it up a little. There's 1. I'm going to add 1 more here. Well, not quite, not a whole lot. Really doesn't need the full couple cups. Let's go over it again. We made tea, just regular old sweet tea, using the cheapest black tea you can find or the best, up to you. I use the cheapest, it comes out great. You're gonna flavor it anyway soon. You're gonna add your 3/4 of a cup of sugar. Wait till that's all melted or dissolved. Add it to your 1 gallon container. You're gonna add to that 4 cups, you're gonna add 8 cups of water. To that you're gonna add a couple of cups of your culture. And you're gonna add your SCOBY. So what's next? The simplest of all at this point, you're done for the next week or so. If it comes with a top, you can cover it. The main goal here is you gotta let air in, but you wanna keep the fruit flies and the dust and anything else running around the house or the homestead out. So you can use a bar towel. I use coffee filters. They're cheap. They work perfectly. All you're gonna do is keep the dust and the bugs out. And you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna put that somewhere in a counter or under a cupboard, someplace where it's gonna be protected from light. You don't want direct sunlight, you want it to grow natural. It's gonna be protected from the light. It's going to be undisturbed. Nobody's going to be knocking it around. And it's got a chance to grow. Come back in about 3 or 4 days and look, and you'll see the new SCOBY up on top. It'll form a film over the top. A lot of first-timers will look at that and get scared and think it's mold or something. No, it's the new SCOBY. Will it turn to mold? A lot of people are worried about that. You'll know, believe me. If you look at it like this, and it just does not look healthy. It's the smell. It won't smell vinegary or tea-ish. It'll just smell rotten. You'll know something's wrong. Just throw it out, start over again. But right now, you're done with the main section of kombucha. You're going to put this away. So Beth said she wanted some blueberry kombucha this time. So went in the freezer and we dug out some of the blueberries we got from the last season, last spring. And we're going to get those ready. We're going to use those to flavor our kombucha. The next episode will show you how to flavor it, how to bottle it, what to do with it, and get ready to, in another week or two, drink it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Kombucha is a great drink. It's a great probiotic. When your stomach's not feeling right, it's a good thing to drink. Again, nothing more than fermented tea with flavoring. But when you're spending $5, $6, $7 a bottle for about 8 ounces in the store, make your own. 25 cents a bottle, it's a lot cheaper. SCOBYs will last almost forever. If you get too many SCOBYs, I cut them up, I put them in the compost pile. You can eat them. Of course, I mean, it's all natural. It's like gelatin. But again, then, no need to waste them. Don't toss them in the garbage. They've got plenty of other uses. So, any questions, feel free. Please add a comment below. We appreciate you watching today. Kombucha is a fun project, and you're only limited in flavors by your own imagination. So, until next time, I'm Bob, and
Beth.
And again, we thank you. Take care. God bless from Homestead Healthy.